Well, joining us here is Courtney. Of course, we only spoke to you a few months ago about Jurby Wellness. You're back because we did say we would love to keep on this subject and find out what's going on. And you brought Niall along today. We'll come to that in a second. But first of all, how are you doing? How's it all progressing?
Lots of projects, but one we've got over the line, I suppose you'd say, a research project looking at multiple system atrophy. So the project, it's been going on a few months, but it's come together. And we just announced that we'll be doing an early stage biomarker test. And how that's come about is 3 people that we knew, University College London, which is a neurologist that's treating a Manx patient, and with protein technologies of Manchester Science Park and a blood testing company, Synapse DX of Liverpool. Those 3 will be collaborating on this project funded by Niall's charity.
Oh, well, your charity, Niall, I mean, this is amazing. What are you doing exactly?
Well, just to give you a bit of a background, Paul, multiple system atrophy is a neurological disorder, and a friend of mine, Chris Blake, was diagnosed with it 2 years ago in 2015, but actually it took 5 years to actually get a proper diagnosis. So he's in his early 40s. It's quite unusual, and it's quite a rare disease, and it's a neurological disorder. It's in the similar family to Parkinson's, to motor neuron. There are a number of societies on the island here to help and support patients and families. There was none for MSA. So Chris decided he'd set one up 18 months ago. And the real focus is to support patients and families on the island, and there are now 5 people diagnosed on the island with MSA. There's about 3,000 in the UK, so that sort of gives you a feel for the size. So it's pretty rare disease. On top of that, we have been raising funds for the last 18 months, and the main aim is to put those funds towards a research project. And the research project is specifically to find some form of early diagnosis. So it took Chris 5 years. We want to help to find something that will diagnose it earlier.
It does incredible 5 years, to find out what you've got.
Absolutely, but to be fair, it is such a rare disease. It's not easy. And what we're working with Courtney and our other partners is potentially to find a blood test, to put it in its simple terms, that may be able to diagnose it much earlier.
Okay, so you're now working together. You're putting people into this.
Yeah, the important part is the collaboration, and a bit like the TT, it came around through innovative collaboration. And the island is no barrier to getting this innovative idea to escape out the lab. We're working with the Liverpool Biobank for blood and human tissue, so they've given us the ethics approval for the UK side. And the patients we're going to work with in the UK will be statistically significant in a clinical trial. On the Isle of Man, we're submitting in July to the Local Research Ethics Committee here, and we hope to get approval and then subsequent recommendation from the Local Ethics Committee, and then final approval from DHSC to carry it out with Manx patients.
So quite a big timeline. A few hurdles there to cross.
They're good hurdles. They're compliance, regulatory affairs, so making sure all the evidence is shared, and we know that. And as long as we follow the protocol both in UK and here on the island, then this should go forward quite well as a first stage.
So this is a good match-up between the 2 of you?
We get on with bikers.
When the TT thing, I'm sorry if we're not allowed to show that logo.
I've given them a pound.
Paul, it's we're ordinary people. We in the charity are not experts in the biomed industry. It was a match made in heaven almost to meet Courtney. Wow. We knew him from our previous lives, but he was able to help put all the right pieces together. I think that's it. So we're talking about our partners in Courtney, in UCL, and others that are actually got the technology to potentially do this for us. So it was perfect for us, and we just see it. Ethics, from our perspective, and from the directors of the charity, is critical here. So that's why it's also key to be able to pull the Liverpool Biobank and the local regulatory authorities into the whole project and get them to buy into it.
And how well funded are you? You're always looking for
We're always looking for funding, and we've got fantastic support on island, also off island. In particular, PokerStars are a great supporter of ours. Sue Hammett there is a great supporter, and she supported 2 key poker tournaments in the last 2 years. We had our most recent one 2 weeks ago. But also the local banking community, so Lloyd's, where Chris used to work, and Barclays are very good at also matching funds.
Sounds very good.
But there's a huge amount of people that do parish walks. We're going to get Courtney to do parish walk for us next year, and all sorts of other events to raise funds. So we've raised, reasonably significant funds to put towards this project. People who have raised those funds, they knew and they're keen for us to make sure it goes into a good project. We believe this is a good project, and you know, if this is successful, we hope to be then able to raise more funds.
Okay. And for you, Jurby Wellness, what's next?
This is the first stage. I think that if you can get a good diagnostic, then ultimately it can lead to good therapeutic. So it's how we can do things quicker, and the collaboration between us and the UK, particularly the Northwest with Manchester and Liverpool, again, is match made in heaven. But it was the kind clinician that gives us the validity for the project. She continues to treat Chris. She's ex-Mayo, UCL, really driven, and so when you've got someone like that in it, you can really pull together the experts. And this is only stage one. We were down in Oxford at a rare disease conference a couple of weeks ago with Fareed Khan, and one of the trusts that had backed some of his rare disease projects is interested in this and says, oh, back end of the year, let's get some early diagnosis, let's get some evidence that this is building, and you could submit for a further grant. So that's the journey. It'll be a long time, but at least we started the first step.
One of the other things that's key for us, Paul, is the Manx connection. You know, we have Manx patients, we have Manx funding, we've got some Manx expertise, and in an ideal world, this test might be called the Manx blood test, whatever. But you know, that we want to make sure we have that connection to the Isle of Man.
Okay, well, all the best. Thanks for joining us today. Okay. I can say, gentlemen, on your bikes, because it is TT time.
We're on them.
They do arrive on their bikes as well. I know, it's like fantastic. We'll keep in touch, and you come back and keep us updated.
The next stage.
Yeah, we'd love to keep you up to date.